The air grew thick with anticipation. A low, guttural growl resonated from the distance. Hurricane Milton, a monster storm of unprecedented fury, was upon us. Coastal residents fled inland. Those who remained braced for the unimaginable. Palm trees bowed low, their fronds whipped into a frenzy. The ocean transformed into a raging beast. Winds ripped through coastal towns, tearing apart homes and businesses. The storm surge swallowed entire neighborhoods. The air was thick with the smell of saltwater and fear. Hurricane Milton transformed the coastline into an unrecognizable wasteland. Houses were reduced to piles of debris. Cars lay mangled and overturned. The storm surge pushed inland, engulfing everything in its path. The landscape was now a churning, debris-filled soup. Those who stayed huddled in terror, praying for deliverance. The roar of the wind and crashing waves was deafening. Darkness, punctuated by lightning, added to the horror. The air pressure dropped, making it difficult to breathe. Outside was pure chaos, a maelstrom of wind and water. As the eye passed overhead, there was an eerie calm. The wind died down and the rain subsided, but the storm was far from over. The eye moved on, unleashing the hurricane's fury once more. The backside of the storm was even more ferocious. Survivors faced a renewed assault on their existence. The wind, now a constant howling presence, continued its relentless attack. Power lines snapped like twigs, plunging cities and towns into darkness. Trees, their roots ripped from the earth, crashed through buildings, adding to the devastation. The air was thick with flying debris. Roof shingles, pieces of wood, even entire appliances, transformed into deadly projectiles by the wind's fury. The darkness that had descended was all-encompassing, both literal and metaphorical. It amplified the sense of isolation and fear that gripped the survivors. The outside world, cut off by downed power lines and impassable roads, seemed to have vanished. Communication with the outside world was impossible, adding to the sense of dread and uncertainty. The storm raged on, an unstoppable force of nature, indifferent to the suffering it inflicted. The wind, with its relentless howling, seemed to mock the fragility of human creations. It tore through concrete walls as if they were made of paper, peeled back roofs and tossed heavy vehicles around like toys. The sheer power of it was both awe-inspiring and terrifying, a stark reminder of humanity's vulnerability in the face of nature's wrath. Section 4. Darkness descends. As night fell, the true extent of the disaster became horrifyingly clear. Hospitals, running on backup generators, struggled to cope with the influx of injured. The lack of power hampered rescue efforts, making it impossible to reach those trapped beneath rubble or stranded by floodwaters. The darkness, thick and suffocating, added to the sense of despair. The loss of power had a domino effect on every aspect of life. Refrigerators stopped working, spoiling food and threatening public health. Traffic lights went dark, making already treacherous roads even more dangerous. Communication networks, already strained, buckled under the pressure, cutting off families and loved ones from each other. The modern world, so reliant on electricity, had been brought to its knees. Inside homes, families huddled together, their faces illuminated by flickering candlelight or the dim glow of battery-powered lanterns. Fear hung heavy in the air, a tangible presence. The sounds of the storm raged on outside, a constant reminder of the destruction and chaos that reigned. The night stretched on, an eternity of uncertainty and dread. Section 5. Inland havoc. The hurricane's fury was not limited to the coast. Heavy rains, relentless and unforgiving, pounded the inland areas. Rivers and streams, swollen beyond capacity, overflowed their banks, inundating towns and villages that had been spared the worst of the wind. Flash floods, sudden and violent, swept away homes, cars, and anything else in their path. The rural communities, often overlooked in disaster preparedness, were particularly vulnerable. Their isolation, once a source of tranquility, now became a curse, making it difficult, if not impossible, to get help to those in need. The storm's impact rippled outward, affecting not just those in its immediate path, but also those who relied on the infrastructure and supply chains that had been so thoroughly disrupted. The deluge continued for days, turning the once fertile farmland into a vast, muddy lake. Livestock drowned, crops were destroyed, and livelihoods were washed away. The economic impact of the flooding promised to be as devastating as the physical damage, with long-term consequences for the region's agricultural industry. If you found this information helpful, please like and subscribe for more updates.